siyamthanda, and the N is for Ndamase. Darling, hopefully you said it with me. If you did not, hopefully next time you will. You better start learning, okay? If you are a new subscriber, thank you so much for coming through. And most importantly, please do subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment below letting me know which country you're from or which part of South Africa you are from if you are from South Africa. Thank you so much, guys, for always supporting me, and most importantly to my regular dagulars, thank you for always just watching my videos and enjoying my videos. Guys, I just want to say, on my other story time I got so much love as much as on my car review. I just want to welcome everyone that's new on my channel. Thank you so much. I've been trying to get more cars so I can review, but obviously it's so hard because I'm new in this industry when it comes to car reviews. So but I'm working on it. I'm on top of something. And to my regular dagulars, I'm just gonna try my best to keep them story times coming because I have lived and life has shown me flames. Today's story time is all about how my fellow YouTuber and I found out that we were dating the same guy. And this happened at that Cape Town trip when we were shooting that series, the one that's here on YouTube. And I just don't want to disclose anyone's name. And I just want to say, guys, most importantly, please do not mention who the girl is in the comment section. This story time is mainly for entertainment purposes. It was a funny thing when we both found out because, like, I'd like to believe that nobody was hurt. I wasn't hurt, and I hope she also wasn't hurt. I don't think she was, because we actually did kind of have a conversation. So I just want to say, out of respect for her, please, even if like you think you know who I'm talking about, don't mention her name. Just keep it to yourself, or yeah, but don't comment below with it, because I don't want her getting bullied, or I don't want anybody like going to disturb her peace. She is a peaceful person. Like I said, the story time is not here to ridicule anyone or to make anybody feel bullied, but it's just for entertainment purposes. I'm sure even the guy wouldn't mind me telling the story time, really, because I know him. But if he minds, so be it, because Sana Gulamfana, who was wrong in this entire story. Okay, but I'm going to be doing that while reviewing the Uncle Waffles burger from KFC. It came in this pack. In Durban, it's available at the KFC that's by Mangrove Spa. Yeah, that's in North Beach. So this is how... So I'm going to be having the burger as well as some zinger wings. I really love zinger wings, guys. So I'm going to be having some zinger wings, and I'm going to teach you a trick or two on how you can best enjoy them. The Uncle Waffles burger comes in this box. Let's see if you can see that clearly. Oh, there she is. Here's that's the pretty lady. That's the pretty lady. That's our superstar. Yeah, so then when you open the box, you see the normal, usual KFC wrap, right? I'm not gonna reveal that yet. And then I'm gonna be having the, what do you call this? It's the KFC mojito, virgin mojito. It's not mojitoing anymore because I've had it out for quite some time, but I don't mind. When it comes to the wings, I'm gonna be enjoying the wings with some vinegar. I really enjoy zinger wings dipped in vinegar. Like, you don't have to dip the whole thing in. You can even use the sachets, but KFC doesn't give us those anymore. So you can just, I'll show you how to do it. You can just thingy. You know how, what you do when you're putting tomato sauce on your fries? You can do the same thing, but with the, these cars, you're putting the tomato sauce that's on the sachets on your fries, you can just do it the same way. But I'll dip in this case because I'm using my own vinegar, because KFC doesn't give us this vinegar anymore for some reason. So anyways, we're gonna start off with the main character, which is the Uncle Waffles burger. All respect to Waffles. I just, disclaimer, guys, I will not be mocking KFC or anything of that sort. I'll be giving my honest review. And I didn't go to Kentucky Town, so that's why I didn't get to taste it. So I'm glad that they brought it back and I'm able to actually taste it. These views are my personal own. It's my taste buds. And I'm not hungry or full. I'm not hungry or full because I didn't want to eat it hungry and think that it's nice even if it's not, or to eat it full and think it's not nice even if it is. This is how it looks like. Ooh, delish. Ooh. It smells weird. It smells like it has a very it smells It's a weird smell, but not weird in a bad way smell. You know, it's weird, but not in a bad way. It smells like this. I don't know, man. Do you know that? Do you remember eclairs? Those sweets. We used to call them Cadbury's, but I found out in KZN that they called eclairs because back home we used to dribble. I mean, the difference between a brand and a product used to dribble people, I think. So it smells like what's inside eclairs. It smells like it's not honey. It smells, what's that other thing that's not honey but that's similar to honey? That thing. I'll write the name. I'll probably would have remembered the name by then. Okay, let's get tasting. Let's get tasting. Oh, it looks so good, guys. I don't know if you can see what I'm seeing. Like, it looks so good. And the waffle is just there. Okay, I'm nervous, but 3, 2, 1. Now, I'm not a person that would normally eat waffles and chicken, but this, it's bussin'. No ways, this is nice, guys. That's so crazy because reviews made me believe it's not nice. Like, people on Twitter made me believe it's not nice because a lot of reviews said it's not nice, whereas a few reviews said it's nice, but it's actually really nice. I've bitten through it, so it looks like that now. I need people to tell the truth. This is really nice. And it's big. I think because the waffle is big and then the chicken fillet is quite big as well. So it makes it big. Okay, so let me start with how this guy and I met, right? Excuse me. This guy knew me through a friend of his. We have a mutual friend, basically, which is a girl. So he had seen me on my friends' WhatsApp statuses and Instagram story reshares or whatever. So that was the year before he came to Durban. So he was like, oh, I need to meet this girl, whatever. And my friend was like, no. She's like, no, you're not gonna have my friend or whatever. But he eventually came to Durban. He followed me on Instagram. He eventually moved to Durban, and then when he got here, he followed me on Instagram. So I saw him and I was like, oh, he plays rugby. He's tall, he's dark. Let me follow back. So I followed back, and he was in my DMs, but I wouldn't like say anything because he'd always like react to my stories, that type of thing. So I'd say thank you or whatever, sometimes not respond, which was okay. So, okay, fast forward, eventually the guy and I finally met because he had been asking to drive me to wherever I want to go. Like, he just offered to be my driver. So eventually there's a day when I didn't want to drive because also I was gonna drink. So I was like, he called me actually. Coincidentally, he called me, I think an hour before, and I was like, where are you gonna go today? I'd love to see you. And then I was like, I'm gonna go to my friend's birthday. Then he was like, okay, can I drive you there? I was like, sharp. Came to pick me up with his friend. He went. Every time the cars make noise, I'm just gonna bite my burger. Too good. Just too good waffles. Special shout out to Uncle Waffles and KFC because this is really too good. He offered to drive me to my friend's birthday, which he did. We were talking in the car. His friend was in the car as well, just having normal conversations, and he was like, can you please take me out on a date? Sharp. Eventually, I gave in. Here are the Zinger wings. I think I'm gonna have the first one without. I love flats more than drums because the drums look really weird. I'm gonna have the first flat. I'm gonna have it without the vinegar. Not so great without the vinegar. KFC is really nice, guys. So, guy offered to drive me, which he did. Asked to take me out on a date, and I said, sharp. We eventually planned a date. After I had cancelled on him probably 3 times, eventually we went on a date, which was really nice. And for me, what stood out was how trusting he was, because the next day he was gonna play. Okay, at that time he was starting to play. He plays rugby, right, for the local team, the team that's based in Durban. Yeah, the famous one, the one that wears the black shirt, sponsored by that cellular network, basically. So he was playing for that team, but now he was transitioning to play for our national team. So he was gonna go to camp. No, they had a game actually with the local team. They had a game which was happening in Bloemfontein. So the next day he was like, can I just drive him to the airport and then drive his car back? And I was like, you trust me with your car? And he was like, I must just keep his car for the weekend. I was like, oh, I'll keep your nice car for the weekend. And I kept his car for the weekend. He went away, kept checking on me, calling, FaceTime, that type of thing, you know? We were getting it on. Hi, sharp. Then Guy and I, he comes back, and then he hadn't asked me out on a second date, but he kept mentioning that he'd like to have a second date with me, which I didn't mind really. But for me, it's not about mentioning, it's about actually getting to do the date and going on the date. That's most important. So then he was very like on and off, like hot and cold, and I'm not about that. Like, it's either Siyajola and Sijola straight, okanye, nothing. I don't want to, I'm not a doll. You can't play with, and like, I know I look like a Barbie, but I'm not a Barbie. So no, you can't do that. You can't play with me like that, because I have feelings. I'm a woman with feelings, and I love having feelings and actually being with someone. So he was hot and cold, on and off, and I was like, I don't have time for this, Sana. I will not be entertaining him any further. Sharp. Then he would be that kind of guy. I think you guys know that men can be like that sometimes, but like, they will bother you, like they will disturb your peace whenever they feel like it. It's too good. It's just too good. So I was like, this guy keeps disturbing my peace and I'm full. Then he invited me out with my friend. So we went out with him and his squad. Now he was playing for our national team. So we went out with him and the national team rugby boys. Went to the club. It was a nice time, because I know most people that play sports from the Eastern Cape, because I know them from my hometown. And I think when I got to Durban, there's a campaign I worked on, which was for the World Cup, right? Most of them were invited, and that's how we officially met, but we all knew each other from social media. So I kind of knew, I knew most of them from like my hometown, and like that thing of when I got to Durban, I was in this big campaign for the World Cup with this other brand that's a national sponsor. So I met most of them at that game. And that's how, you know, because when you are in suits at the stadium, you talk to everyone. Some of them I had met them actually when I was a brand ambassador for soccer, when I used to work for MTN. So that's how I got to know some people as well as most of them. And eventually it was a thing of like, oh, we always see each other at games, let's greet each other. Who are you? Let me get to know you, type of thing, an innocent kind of thing. So even when we went out to the club, it was like familiar faces and it was good vibes. And let me tell you, they know how to party. They know how to have a good time. Had an amazing time, and then went home. Nothing happened, and then he just kept saying that he'd love to take me on a second date. Eventually, I let him take me on a second date. We went to watch a rugby game. Went to a place where we could also get to watch a rugby game. So on the other side, we went to have lunch, and then we moved to the second side as soon as the game started to go watch the game. We had a great time. He's really funny. He's very goofy. He's very loving also. He will lift you. One thing about being like with a sportsman, he will lift you up around the house. Like, it was that type of fun thing. And he's very tall and I'm very short. So I'd always look at him like this and I'm like, yeah, like I'm a wag kind of thing. So second date, which was really fun. So I was like, okay. And then I think my birthday was coming up. Like I said, I'm a romantic person. I don't know if, like, I'm sure I've disclosed this before. Like, I'm a romantic person in relationships. So when he made the national team, I wanted to get him something to congratulate him. So I got him this big gift that was very, like, I love significant gifts. So I contacted his sister and was like, hey, I'm so-and-so's friend, and I'd love to present him with like a nice gift because he's made the national team. So I did like a very nice, expensive gift kind of thing, which involved his family. And then yeah, that's how his sister actually got to follow me on Instagram, because she was like, oh, she's gonna follow her brother's friend. And then yeah, but akakatali, like I think men just generally don't care, or he was just not that interested in me. I don't know, because he'd be there and not be there. He'd be there and not be there. Like, he was available but unavailable, you know. Can't do with me. It's a thing of, it's either you're available or you're not available. Do not anfuna upitizela, anfuna in between, anfuna hot and cold. It's either you are hot or you are cold. Uzanenzele fever if you are in the middle. I need to know whether you're hot or you're cold. Don't be here, because when you're here, there's a fever, I'll catch flu, because I'm not sure now whether it's hot or it's cold, whether I'm getting sick or I'm alright, you know. Be decided. Am I swimming because it's hot, or I'm putting on the heater because it's cold, you know, so I can move on accordingly as well. So a guy would be hot and cold, and that annoyed me more than anything. Guys, this is why I don't like drumlets, because they look so freaky. Like, what is this? Why does it look like that? Okay, so let me teach you guys my trick, right? The whole vinegar thing. This is the vinegar. I'm just gonna do this, like, small dab, right? And then taste it. Please try it, guys, before you even judge me. I know you guys are gonna judge me, but just try it. Try Zinga wings dipped in vinegar. I don't know what KFC puts in their food, but it's really nice. So I don't know. It's too good. Too good. See, I eat it to the bone. Sometimes. Too good. It's too good. So I was like, I don't understand why he's hot and cold, so I'm gonna move on, right? Then I started going out on dates with other people, but he was a person of effort, I won't even lie, because he invited me to his place, and he had those big what do you call those things that look like couches, but they're not couches and they're big, and you can just, they're just always on the floor. Like, he was I think he tries to be romantic, because he invited me for a pizza and movie night, which was very nice, and we had a great time. We always, whenever we'd be together, we'd always have a great time. That's what I liked about it, and it was fun. And what I liked about him is that he'd always, so obviously when you're playing for the teams, he'd always get sponsored stuff. So he'd get me t-shirts and stuff like that, and I was like, I'm sold. Like, I am sold. And he started asking me, like, what do you want? I wanted Ivy Park at some point, but we were kind of late for that. I wanted like so many different things, but I wouldn't get them because I wouldn't always get them because I'm a very impatient person, and we would fight, and I'd just be like, you don't have time for me, and you're a person that's like, let me try to fix this side. And you'd be a person that's hot and cold. Nah, I just need to know if you're hot or are you cold. I'm not going to do these games. So I thought he was entertaining other people, and I know how men can be. Men love girls, so especially sportsmen, they like amantombazana. So I was like, I don't think I want to try with this person that's giving me a hard time. So that happened, and then I was like, I'm gonna keep my distance, you know. And he was a very nice person, Shem. Very nice person, very gentle, very understanding. tries to be romantic, but it's just not available. It was just those small things that would bother me, but with me, the most important things are the smallest things, because they make up the big things, you know? If you can't get right the small things, who says you're gonna get right the bigger things? That's an issue to me already. So I was like, I'm gonna give him his space. Because also he's new in the industry, he's just made it. Obviously, okay? And I would go on, I found a new trick when you're stalking someone on Twitter to see, well, it's not a new trick, it's there, it's a feature. So I would go, but people had not figured it out at that time. So I would go and check his likes to see if, like, is he not like liking other girls' pictures? And she might see most of the pictures are like my pictures. You know what? There's a story time inside the story time. But let me finish this one. So then I was like, I'm giving him his time and I'm not going to be with him because he's this person that he is. Now, the hottest part. He keeps trying because he doesn't understand what's happening, why am I not? And then I eventually tell him that, dude, you're available, but you're not available. And I think that what most guys like about me is that when you're in a relationship with me, I want to see you grow. All right, as a person, like I want to see you grow as my partner. So I was kind of like helping him with his brand at some point, because at that point, when you're at that level, you are going to get sponsorships, you know? It's so good, guys. It's so good. The vinegar just makes it moist and there's a bit of sourness to it. It's too good. It's too good. So I was like, I'm just gonna give him his space and just give him my space. I'm not gonna be with the person that's unavailable. And I told him, but I didn't block him. Until he eventually went to play overseas. So when he went to play overseas, that's when, also I think those camps are really hardcore, because he'd open up to me about certain things, like, you know, because you're away from your family for days, you're not in contact with humans. There's a lot of things that I'm going to leave out here, guys, because obviously this involves like an athlete, and yeah, like I can't tell everything. So even everything that happened in our own relationship. So he was emotionally, and he's young, so just imagine, you are away from your family, you're still trying to figure out life, you come from a small town, you're going to be famous, you've got money. It's like there's so much going on, and I think nobody ever prepares for that moment when you make it and when opportunities just come flooding at you. So other people don't really prepare for that. So I think he didn't expect himself to make it that big at that age, even though maybe he's always known that it was going to be big, but maybe not at that age. So it was kind of like hard for him to adjust emotionally, but I was there for him, and I realized that, okay, you know what, even if like we're not in a relationship, or it doesn't get to what I would have liked for it to get to, because I'm a very relationship girl. So the minute you don't want a relationship, or I see that you are not, we are not aligned, I will move. But I was like, I'll be there for him emotionally. So we would always talk all the time about how he feels like about things, and I knew that he doesn't like the fact that like I don't want him anymore. So whenever he'd be back in the country, we'd all go out with my friends and his friends, and it would be a nice time, like a flippant nice time. Or even if we bump into each other at Groove. At some point, I remember while I was working on this other big campaign and we were out at Groove and he was drunk, he'd come to me and be like, I'm gonna marry you, I'll flip and buy you a Range Rover. It was cute, but like I just didn't like it like that because I'm at work. And at some point he was bothering my friends. My friends should speak to me so that I can be his girlfriend, but my friends were just like, dude, speak for yourself. Like even people that are like not really my friends like that, but people I work with and people I'm used to, and they'd be like, dude, just like stop being a coward, go talk to her, you know, that type of thing. So I did have a soft spot for him, I won't lie. Now comes the trip. We go to Cape Town for this trip, for this YouTube reality series trip. And when we get there, it's nice vibes and everything, nice and everything good. Now on the last day, it was one of the crew members' birthday, which was really nice, and we all celebrated. Mind you, this guy did call me when I was in Cape Town, but when I was in Cape Town, I was already in a relationship with somebody else. Like I said, I was there for him emotionally, even though like I knew that I wouldn't date him or be with him like that anymore because of what had happened, and it was hot and cold, and I was just like, dude, you're wasting my time and phony, and even if you say you're gonna do better, and so then we went out for dinner for this person's birthday celebration kind of thing, and the next day we all knew that we've got flights to catch back home. So I like I said, he had called me earlier, he had FaceTimed me, but I didn't pick up because I wanted to boundaries because I was with another person now, and I really like this person, so which is my current partner. So I was like, I don't want to mess this up because my current partner is a good guy. I like him, he's tall, tuck, he's what I want in a man. So I'm like, I'm not gonna mess it up. So I didn't pick up. He kept calling me, I was like, nope. FaceTime, nope. And I think he was overseas at that time, so that's why there was like a lot of FaceTime thing going on. This is how my burger looks like currently. Let's bite again. Let's bite waffles. Yeah, I'm none. I think I want to be but not too. No, because it's actually nice. I'm looking like that, you guys. So I'm talking about Uncle Waffles. Uncle Waffles because this burger is nice. This burger is nice. You know, Tuku actually. Look at that. Waffle. Hi, you know no Tuku. Nina Baron not Tuku san. Because in their that's how good this burger is. Wow. This is how you eat a wing. Guys, I picked the worst time to film at. It's worse. Like there's load shedding now, so the taxis are so loud. Anyway, so I was saying that we're all out for dinner for this guy's birthday dinner. While we're out, this girl and I start to have like a conversation about how she should come to Durban, and then another girl at the table is also like, she hasn't been to Durban in a long time, so we should all link up. And you know, I'm a girlies girl, so we're all excited that like definitely. And then my girl says that her man lives in Durban, so I'm like, really? And then it goes on to, what does your man do? And then she's like, her man is a sportsman. So then I found out that how long have they been like together, how long have they known each other. I don't think they were in a relationship, I think they were dating, which is still getting to know each other. So then it had been probably more than a month. I don't remember the exact time, but it was quite some time. So then I was like, oh, what does he do? Play sports. I'm like, in Durban, a sportsman, because men in Durban, if a man is in Durban and they play sports, it could only be rugby because that's the most popular and most sports in Durban. Otherwise, if udlali bola, then that's just that. It's just soccer. So, but my head immediately went to rugby, and then she was like, he plays rugby. So I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, what team does he play for? Then he says, and I'm like, oh, I know most of the players for that team because they're from my hometown. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. And then I tell her that like, oh, my man also plays rugby and plays for a team in Durban. Mind you, this is the man that I'm trying to get rid of. So then she goes to say, oh, so someone at the table's like, what if you guys are dating the same guy? Then luckily I was able to say that, well, I'm not dating him, the sportsman, anymore, but I don't want to lie. At that point, I had considered fixing things between him and I because he was very persistent. But also, like I said, that there was this guy that I really liked, even though we're not official yet, but I knew that, like, okay, I could have something solid here. I like the guy because he treats me like how I want to be treated, and he's like, I have fun with him and we're getting to know each other very well. Hence, I didn't want to mess that up because I wanted to give it a chance as well. So as a girl, technically, if you're a person that doesn't know, you are allowed to date more than one person because that's getting to know people and you're not doing anything with the people. What's wrong is cheating while in a relationship. If you're just getting to know people, you can get to know 5 people, 10 people, as long as you're getting to know people. And then within the 10 or the 5, you will eventually find your person and be like, okay, this is the one I like. Otherwise, explore, guys, or else you will never know. You will never know what's out there until you explore. So I was doing that exploring, but I had my top 2, which were these 2. So then she goes to say her guy plays rugby. I'm like, okay. And then somebody's like, what if you guys are dating the same guy? So then I'm also thinking, what if we are? But also my girl is also thinking, what if we are? But like we were really not even fighting over this. Like, we were having fun, we were laughing over it. So then somebody's like, okay, describe the man. So we both described tall, dark, and like he's tall, he's dark. You know, he's not too buff, but he's just mid-body. And then somebody's like, what car does he drive? And then someone at the table also says, what color is the car? So we both mentioned the color of the car. For example, if it's black, we both said it's black. So then somebody's like, can you guys mention the name? So I was going to mention the surname and she was going to mention the name. One of the guys at the table counted down 3, 2, 1. I said the surname, she said the name, and it was 1 + 1 = 2, my darling. Like 1 + 1 = 2. I was like, what? So my intuition was right about this guy, that he's busy, he's emotionally unavailable, and she was actually complaining about the same things I complained about. Although I did disclose to her that I'm no longer there because of what had happened, and I told her the